Hi, what's up guys? I'm in this forest today to record you this video. To record you this very important video about war, which I started in the previous video. But in the previous video I didn't give you any details and it was just general thoughts. And today I'll give you some details so that you can understand what is going on. But this is just a humorous content as usual. So don't take it seriously. I'm just making it for fun, to entertain people, so that they will not get bored. Okay? And so war between Russia and Ukraine. And today I'm gonna tell you this, that this is not a real war. This is just a theater, a role-play game. And also it is not war between Russia and Ukraine, because Russia don't exist now. Why don't it exist? I'll explain you now. I'll read you the news from 13th of October 2021 from official Russian government website. Okay, let me find it and I'll read it to you. So, on 13th of October 2021, Dmitry Chernyshenko and Borja Brandy signed memorandum to set up Center of Fourth Industrial Revolution in Russia. Also on Twitter, Borja Brandy says Russia becomes 15th member of Fourth Industrial Revolution. So our government signed this paper. Our government agrees to participate in this global project. And this is why I'm saying that on 13th of October, Russia officially capitulated as a country. It is no longer Russia. It is just part of this global project which they are building. They are building the new world. And you can learn about this world from the book, which is called Fourth Industrial Revolution, written by Klaus Schwab. And Klaus Schwab is founder of World Economic Forum in Davos. Klaus Schwab is ideologist of this industrial revolution, and you can read all the details of their plan from this book. And this fourth industrial revolution means that countries, they will disappear in their current form. There will be no more sovereign countries. It will be just one huge big country around the world with several centers. And Russia will be just one of these centers. And our Mr. P agreed to sign this contract. And he says that we're going to be part of this team of these globalists. So Mr. P is in the team of the globalists. And today Mr. P starts a war between Russia and Ukraine. And do you think that he changed his mind and then he is no longer gonna participate in this global project? This is very unlikely. He is already globalist and part of this global team. And this is why it sounds so ridiculous to me that he's gonna protect some Russian people in some other countries from fascists. And to me, our Mr. P is already fascist to a certain extent, because this global project is a form of fascism, a new digital fascism. Why is this so? Because in their plans to label people, to label you, to give you this QR code in the beginning, so you will become commodity as a product in the supermarket. And this kind of labeling, this fascism, pure fascism. And Mr. P is part of this team. And today he says that he is gonna protect Russians from some other fascists. This is very strange, and I don't believe you, Mr. P. There is a book which is called Fourth Industrial Revolution. And this is just kind of a plan which they're gonna implement in the whole world. And Russia will be just part of this project, of this new world. And in this book, it is described in details what is waiting us in the future, in the near future. There is a lot of many beautiful words that our life will become like a paradise. But I can tell you that this is not gonna be paradise. This is gonna be hell. New digital hell. New concentration digital camp. Okay? And also in this book there is very important sentences about governments. And I'll read you these sentences. Governments in their current form will be forced to change as their central role of conducting policy increasingly diminishes due to the growing levels of competition and redistribution and decentralization of power that new technologies make possible. Increasingly, governments will be seen as public service centers that are evaluated on their ability to deliver the expanded service in the most efficient and individualized ways. Ultimately, it is the ability of governments to adapt that will determine their survival. So all of this means that governments will be simply service providers. And if they cannot adapt quickly enough, they will simply disappear. This is what we can understand from their plan. And our government signs this plan. They agree with it. They agree that countries will lose their sovereignty. And this is why I say Russia officially capitulated in the last year. And this is why this war is just a theater. It's just part of the plan. But what else do they have in their plan from this war? The main consequence of this war is that they are gonna make people fear. They are gonna manipulate people. People will be scared of some enemy. And it is easy to manipulate when people scared. Recently, we already had one horror story about this medical event with COVID. And now we have another horror story to manipulate people again. And after this war, it will be easy to tighten the nuts and bolts. Okay? To introduce new policies, to introduce new technologies with these QR codes and everything else included. This is one consequence of this war, to manipulate people. And also, what can happen after this war? It is very likely, and I have no doubts, that we will have hunger in Russia soon if it continues going this way. We already have skyrocketing prices on almost everything, and our economy already collapsed, at least by half. Food becomes very expensive in the shops, but it's just the beginning. It will grow even more. So I expect hunger in Russia. This is number one consequence. But also it will not only be hunger in Russia, but I can say that it is going to be hunger in the rest of the world, because Russia is part of the global chain. And if one link of a chain breaks, the whole chain breaks. For example, Russia supplies grain to other countries. It supplies grain to some African countries. It supplies grain to Turkey, to Egypt. And due to this war, it will be very difficult to provide those countries with grain. As a result, prices on food in those countries will increase as well. And it is also likely that there will be hunger in those places too. And what else? For example, price of the gas. It is already skyrocketing by today. It is highest in the history. And what it can lead to. For example, it can also lead to the inflation of the price of fertilizers. Russia supplies fertilizers to other countries, such as Brazil. And Brazil will no longer be able to buy those fertilizers. Brazil will be not able to grow food. And as a result, it is also very likely that it will be hunger in Brazil. And if it is hunger in Brazil, it is also likely that will be hunger in some other nearby countries. So it will be problems all over the world. This is what they are preparing for us. They are preparing hunger. I am not saying it with 100% probability, because something might change. But as you think logically, it is very likely. And if there is hunger all over the world, there will be riots all over the world. There will be violence all over the world. This is possible consequences of our war with Ukraine. And also, why do we have all of this? Do you know why? I already mentioned it in the last video. Why is this happening? This is all happening because we forgot about God. We don't believe in our God anymore, because we have a new God. People have a new God. And this new God is called money. People believe in money. And if you believe in money, ultimately we will end up in the hell. And this is our future. I hope you enjoyed my humorous content, and maybe later I'll make some more humorous content, but for now that's it. Bye bye.